things were already crazy for the Black Ops ports and what we've seen for the revitalization of the classic era CODs, but it may have actually turned out to be even bigger than we anticipated. Today, I want to take a look at an interesting report that is kind of a little mind-blowing. So drop your thoughts as we go along, drop a like if you enjoy the video, and make sure to subscribe for more FPS content. We've got a busy week upcoming, and of course then beyond that as well, that I'd love to have in the community. Finally, check out my friends over at Advanced GG, where code Espresso can get you 10% off your entire order, but more on that a little later. For now though, let's get into it. So, the Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2 ports. This having been announced a little while ago and then just kind of a slow burn of, all right, well, when are they going to drop these? To eventually, they finally did. They kind of took the gaming world by surprise. I mean, as much of a surprise as you can have, even though you knew something was coming, you just didn't know quite when. But then the reception of that kind of was the big surprise too. That this made a much bigger splash than people may have anticipated. Obviously, people could have been very excited to play their favorite classic COD games of Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2 again, but like the scale at which that happened and the overall reception seemed to reach further than many may have expected, being that it was only on PlayStation, being that it was something you had to pay for once again. But the overall general reception seemed to be that everyone who had been playing it was enjoying it. Anecdotally, I've even had a bunch of friends that played COD religiously back in the day, but haven't because, you know, life goes on and stuff, that they were texting me like, man, I wish I had a PlayStation 5 so I could play these games again. So the overall reception was that it seemed like everybody was enjoying having these classics back. Obviously, when you look at these games that are much older and the origins of the golden era of Call of Duty, there could be some rose-tinted glasses moments like the commando lunging from Modern Warfare 2 or one-man army noob tubes, that stuff was absurdly frustrating to go up against, but like the general reception of those games are still some of the best out there. But at the same time, like it's not always rose-tinted glasses. Like these games are a lot of fun to play and had been, but because of old servers, exploits and mods, limited player numbers being that they are 13 and 15 years old respectively, it becomes harder and harder every day to play these. But when you have them brought back up to a more modern audience on modern servers with hopefully modern security measures, obviously that's just a great way to revitalize that a little bit. So the classics were back. A lot of people are still loving this here, that it wasn't just a 1 to 2 day fad, and it seems like the Steam is still going pretty well. But initial reports ended up placing these PlayStation exclusive Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2 ports as having more players online than all of Black Ops 7. So that goes for BNet and Steam on PC, Xbox, and PlayStation. Two games from 13 and 15 years ago, respectively, outpacing the current Call of Duty in modern marketing scale, where every single year there's millions upon millions of dollars into marketing and pushing the sales of those games. So, kind of crazy. But here's the thing, it gets even crazier than that, because yeah, that's awesome to see, and that shows that there's this demand to want to go back and play these classics, relive the golden days and stuff like that. But what gets crazier still is the numbers in which this is apparently over the last week, and in the US only, reported for these titles. According to reports, active weekly players on PlayStation 5 this week, so not even PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5 for Black Ops 2 was 5.25 million players, and Black Ops was 1.96 million players. US only, one platform, 13 and 15-year-old titles. Now, positively, that's a lot of players that are going back and reliving the classics, the glory days, whatever you want to call them. But oppositely, if you're one of the people that think this was just a cash grab, my God, they made a lot of cash. Like, wow. Now, a note, that is weekly players, so that's not the concurrent and live total of players playing like right now. That's how many people logged on within the last week or the first week here that it has been live. So there's layers to that, but still, like, that's an undoubtedly insane amount of players to jump on here to this, but shows the gravity of those games and how much they mean to people, how good they are to people in their minds. But like when we set out and we're thinking about, hey, the Black Ops ports are gonna be launching here soon, I certainly was not expecting 7+ million players on a singular platform. And hey, I am pleasantly surprised also that we're seeing some updates here for this. Obviously, these games are, again, 13 and 15 years going on 14 into 16 years respectively. They're like, we're not going to get content updates here. We're not going to get balancing passes here for this. It's a port just to bring the old up to speed with the new. But at the same time, it's nice to see that existing issues, exploits that have been happening, that those are being taken care of in a timely manner. Since our last discussion on the ports, like actually almost right after that video went live, hilarious timing on my end, as per usual. The COD Updates Twitter talked about how they deployed the first phase to address issues impacting players with XP issues. Playlists having been updated with server-side fixes, players with negative XP having been reset to level 20 so they can begin progressing again and not ever be sort of locked out of MP, with additional mitigations to follow. Then more recently, we saw a new update being deployed to fix recent XP progression fixes, with additional improvements across both titles, like public matchmaking matches, now prioritizing PS5 hosts and no longer falling back to PS4 hosts. That was something that was just creating a matchmaking issue that was noticeable. There were additional protections against host migration workarounds, which, if I'm not mistaken, was like PR terms for dealing with some exploits that people were able to bring to the titles. And then they fixed controller dead zone behavior to update that to be more in line with the original PlayStation 3 versions. Those all being nice changes. Now, of course, there are things that still need to be done in terms of just fixing the game a little further, where like Black Ops 2's lobby backfill, for example, like that's something that still needs to be fixed and has been a problem since the ports launched, where if somebody backs out of a match, it will not fill that spot back up. And so you'll end up being oftentimes left with 2v5, 3v3, 3v4, 2v6 sometimes, like just whatever crazy combination that is absurdly lopsided in that team balancing, it doesn't balance back out by adding new players in. So like that's something that definitely still needs to be fixed. I imagine it will be fixed here in the next upcoming days. Things like sniper registry on Black Ops 1, that being an issue that was a thing back in Black Ops like November and December of 2010 that then got fixed as the year progressed, but for some reason that version made it into the port here that we have today. That kind of stuff needs to be fixed out. But overall, like, it seems like my biggest fear of them just dropping it and being like, have fun, we're not touching this ever again, at least wasn't the case, you know? But with all the success, I'm very curious what this means for the future. Because, like, well, there's a lot of games that people would love to play again. Like, obviously, we have COD 4 Remastered from 2016 that I don't think they're going to do that one. World at War could potentially get the port treatment. Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3, though, I think could be the other ones that absolutely break the internet. But then, like, as time progresses and we start shifting console generations once again in the next couple of years, do we end up seeing games like, I don't know, Black Ops 3, Advanced Warfare, Ghost? Do they get the port treatment? Like, will we see this then be an incremental thing that every couple of years we see those games revitalized again in terms of either just cash grab perspective or to try and like hit on that nostalgia again? I guess we'll have to wait and see. But anyways, the ports thus far, kind of crazy. So what do you think of these? Have you been playing the Black Ops ports and reliving the glory days? Let me know your thoughts down below. Before we wrap everything up, a quick heads up. We have partnered with my friends over at Advanced GG. Again, as we've mentioned, a bit under the radar the last few months, but now going into the summer, ramping that up more and more. Advanced is the healthier energy supplement option where I use it daily as my comparable cup of coffee. Currently drinking that raspberry lemonade. Magic Rainbow Sherbet's also another one that's one of my favorites, but I'd highly recommend, and we actually co-branded that along with a few other items on their site, like a 26-ounce ice shaker. But love this stuff. If you're looking for a replacement for your own cup of coffee, give it a try. If you decide to give it a go, code Espresso and get 10% off your entire order. But no sweat, appreciate you hearing me out on this. And of course, just checking in on the videos here that you made it this far. But that said, that's going to wrap it up. So let me know your thoughts down below. Drop a like if you guys enjoyed the video. And of course, make sure to subscribe for more Call of Duty and other FPS content. We got some discussions coming up for Modern Warfare 4 here soon with all the recent gameplay out of Fanatics Fest, but a ton of other stuff as well that I'd love to have in the community for. So if you'd like to join, it would be great to have you along for the ride. For now, thanks so much for watching. Mine has been Espresso. I'll see you later. Take care and peace.